fate on its own. You used to live inside my certainty, inside the way I imagined stability. I trusted the feeling, trusted the way you existed, without needing explanation. I never asked how long it would last. I only asked how deeply I could believe it. I felt you becoming distant long before you said anything. And distance revealed the truth. Know it painfully, clearly. You were never meant to remain permanent. You were meant to pass through me, to show me the parts of myself I didn't need anyone to remain whole. Stopped holding on to memory, stopped holding on to expectation, stopped holding on to something that had already released me. I didn't lose you, I found independence. Now when silence surrounds me, it feels natural, not empty, not unfinished. I'd wait. You were part of my past, but I am no longer part of yours. And that is exactly where I belong. I thought of you, the last time I thought of you. And I didn't stop you, because I understood something deeper. You weren't leaving me, you were leaving the version of me that no longer existed. I wasn't breaking, I was separating, separating from attachment, separating from illusion, separating from the need to hold on. You didn't take anything essential, you left me clarity, you left me independent, you left me myself. You were never meant to stay where your future didn't exist. Now when I move forward, it feels effortless. There is no hesitation, no expectation, no unfinished meaning. You were part of my path, but I am no longer walking toward you. I remember the last time I waited Letting go didn't feel like loss. It felt like alignment, like returning to something that had always belonged to me. You didn't leave a wound, you left space, space where illusion used to exist, space where dependence used to live. I stopped needing confirmation, stopped needing reassurance, stopped needing you, because I finally understood nothing outside me defines who I am.
It feels honest, not empty, not waiting, not unfinished. You were part of my awakening, but I am no longer asleep inside what we were. The last trace of you didn't disappear in pain. It dissolved in calm, like something that understood it had already stayed long enough. Was part of my structure, part of what made me whole. I didn't realize I was the one holding everything together.
I saw the moment you stopped needing anything from me. That moment wasn't heavy, it was clear, clear in a way that didn't ask me to resist. You didn't leave emptiness, you left truth, truth that I had always been complete, truth that I never needed permission to exist fully. I released the version of you that lived inside my dependence.
not influence, not shape, not waiting. You were part of my past, but I am no longer shaped by what has already ended. I didn't notice the exact moment when your presence stopped living inside me. It didn't break loose and quietly, without asking me to understand it. You used to exist in my center, in the way I made sense of closeness. I trusted the feeling, trusted the way you stayed, without needing to promise anything. I thought that was enough, I thought that was real, and maybe it was for who I was then.
I saw you becoming distant, not from me, from who you used to be.
And I understood you weren't leaving me, you were leaving the version of yourself that needed me to remain. I didn't try to stop you because something inside me was doing the same. We weren't breaking, we were separating from illusion, separating from expectation, separating from the need to hold something that had already ended. You didn't disappear, you became unnecessary. You were never incomplete on your own. Now when I move forward, it feels honest. There is no wait, no hesitation, no unfinished attachment. You were part of my becoming, but I am no longer becoming someone who needs you. stop hearing you in my silence. Not because you vanished, because silence finally belonged to me. It held me differently without asking me to remember you.
You used to exist in everything, in the way I trusted moments, in the way I believed in permanence.
I built certainty around your presence. I built identity around your closeness. I didn't realize how much of myself I had placed outside my own hands.
I saw you becoming steady without needing anything from me.
And the steadiness changed everything. I didn't feel lost, I felt independent. I felt the quiet return of something that had always been mine. You didn't complete me. You revealed the illusion that I needed completion. I stopped holding on to what was familiar. I stopped holding on to what was safe. I stopped holding on to what was no longer real. You became memory, and memory doesn't control me. You were never incomplete on your own. Felt it in the quiet at first, the way your presence stopped filling the space around me.
Nothing ended, nothing needed to. Something simply settled into truth.
Inside my direction, inside every version of tomorrow.
I carried you forward without asking, without doubting.
I thought that was love.
There's quiet certainty,
This invisible attachment.
but certainty built on feeling
Doesn't always survive reality.
I saw you becoming calm in a way that no longer needed me.
And calm changed everything. I didn't feel abandoned, I felt returned.
Return to the part of myself that had always existed beneath attachment.
You didn't leave emptiness,
You left awareness,
awareness that I was never incomplete.
awareness that I was never dependent, awareness that I had always been enough. I didn't lose anything real.
I lost illusion.
You were never incomplete on your own. Now when I breathe,
It feels uninterrupted.
there is no expectation, no hesitation, no unfinished meaning. You were part of my past,
But I am no longer shaped by what has already ended. It happened in a moment that didn't look important. I was standing still and realized I wasn't waiting for you anymore.
Uncertainty became clarity. Clarity became distance. Distance became freedom. You didn't disappear. You became unnecessary. Not because you meant nothing. Because I meant everything to myself. Attachment with truth. Stop confusing presence with permanence. Stop confusing you with who I was becoming. You were never my foundation. I was. Incomplete without me.
Now when I move forward, I don't hesitate. I don't look back, I don't need what is already ended.
Because nothing was taken.
Everything was returned.
And I finally belong to myself.
thought that meant permanent. I thought that meant truth, but permanence was never yours to give.
I saw you standing on your own, without needing anything from me. And standing alone didn't feel empty. It felt honest, honest in a way I had never allowed before.
You didn't disappear. You returned to where you belong, outside the version of me that needed you to remain. I stopped holding on to illusion, stopped holding on to memory, stopped holding on to what had already released me. I didn't lose direction, I became my own direction.
You were never incomplete on your own.
Now when I breathe, it feels natural, unattached, unburdened, free. You were part of my past, but I am no longer defined by what has already ended. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
stays forever. I saw you becoming complete without needing me beside you. And completion didn't feel like loss. It felt like clarity. Clarity that I was never incomplete. Clarity that I'd always been enough. You didn't leave emptiness, you left awareness. Awareness that I didn't need to hold on to something that had already ended. I released the version of you that lived inside my attachment. And in doing that, I released the version of me that didn't know her own strength. You were never incomplete on your own. You were never incomplete on your own. Now when I move forward, I move without hesitation, without an expectation, without attachment. You are part of my past, but I am no longer part of what needed you. I didn't notice the ending. There was no final word, no visible goodbye. Just a quiet moment when your presence stopped lapse, living inside my future. You used to feel permanent, like something written into my direction, like something time itself had agreed to protect. I trusted that feeling, I built myself around it, around the certainty that you would remain where you began. But nothing living ever promises that. I stayed until I couldn't recognize myself anymore. understood you without needing explanation. I saw the distance forming, not between us, inside us.
You were leaving me. You were returning to yourself. And in that truth, I found permission to do the same. I released a version of you that no longer existed. And in doing that, I released a version of me that needed you to remain. You were never meant to depend on my presence. Now, when I stand alone, there is no emptiness, only clarity, only peace.